Yeah.
Hey,
Right, babe.
yeah, I'm going to watch I'm a Celebrity. Do you want to watch it with me?
Not really. How long's it on for?
It's like an hour and a half. It's not long.
Well, why don't you stick it on, and then we'll like catch a film afterwards in bed or something.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All
Shall I
right.
give you a shout when I'm done?
Okay, babe.
Okay, bye.
Right. That means for the next 3 weeks, these two idiots are going to be plaguing my life every night. I've got about 90 minutes of hobby time left and I want to use it. I'm going to speed paint a dreadnought. I can finish a dreadnought in an hour and a half, right? Okay, first things first, we are on a bit of a time crunch here, so here's the kit bashed Contemptor. I put this together a few days ago. It's just a bit of plastic card and some chain and some putty and stuff like that. Very simple, few bits out of my Chaos Bits box and we were good to go. I'd already decided I wanted to do this as an Iron Warrior, but I hadn't decided whether I was going to sort of really push for a high-end paint job or do something quick, or didn't really know what I wanted to do with it. So having this opportunity, I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna get this done. 90 minutes, one dreadnought. Just you watch. Obviously, as you can see, we had that Vallejo metal colour dark aluminium as a spray all over it when we started. Because I knew it was going to be Iron Warriors, I already got that done. So the first thing I'm going to do is get some Basilicanum Grey, and I'm going to get that liberally all over every bloody part of this thing. Nice and quick, nice and simple. I'm going to be abusing the hairdryer a lot because we're using tons of contrast paints, we're using tons of washes, and we're going to be going for some really fast effects. Okay, once I've got that Basilicanum Grey hair dryered dry, then I'm going to grab my Necron compound and a big fluffy makeup brush, and I'm going to dry brush Necron compound over absolutely everything. Again, there doesn't really need to be a difference between the skeleton and the armor plates here because it's Iron Warriors, so nice and quick and simple, just get it done. And this is what the dry brushing looks like once it's completed. I've gone for a nice sort of fluffy look. You can see here that a bit fell off during the process, so I was just like, nah, bollocks to it, I'm not going to use that bit then. No time for sitting and repairing, we're on a real time budget here. Okay, next up, a quick whip round the miniature with some Scale 75 Art Black in order to black in all of the areas that need to be black. As you've seen in a previous video where I talked about recipes I can't live without, when I do hazard stripes, I like to start with the black first, so the sections that are going to be hazard striped are also included in this area, and I get those blacked in first as well. And then anything that's bony or bone adjacent is going to get a quick hit of Rackar Flesh. Again, this is one of the few non-liquidy, transparenty sort of paints that are going to go on this, but it kind of was important to use a solid base for us to be able to get some skin and bones and stuff like that done. Right now I'm going to grab some Dark Reaper and dry brush over all of my blacks. I wouldn't usually use dry brushing as a standalone highlighting method for my personal preference, but because we're on a time crunch, I know that that's what a lot of you would do if you were speed painting, so it's what I'm going to do when I'm speed painting. Seems only fair to me. And then we're going to grab a bit of that dark aluminium straight from the pot and just re-brighten all of the trim. I was in two minds as to whether or not to re-brighten this, and there's a couple of areas on it that I forgot to hit with the dark alley, and when I did the later processes on them that you're about to see, they actually looked a little bit better. So maybe it's better to have skipped this step, but it only took like a minute anyway, so it doesn't matter. Right, then over all of those areas of trim, we're going to hit some Seraphim Sepia. This is going to start to stain them more towards a sort of goldy colour that you would recognise for Iron Warriors. Now, Iron Warriors being a Chaos Legion and being known for getting really stuck in there and getting into the thick of it, I kind of figured it was alright to have sort of dull metallics here, like really grungy, kind of dirty looking metallics. So I'm using a method where I'm going to build up a few washes to tint the silver, because the matting effect of the washes is actually going to really help give it that dark and grungy look. I think you'll like this. Watch as we continue. Okay, after that's been hair dried, then another Seraphim Sepia wash all over. Again, all the same areas, just strengthening that yellow tone. And then my hairdryer is now screaming at this point with how much it's been used recently, but we're going to go in for another wash now, Rakeland Flesh Shade over again all of those same areas. And apparently I'm just addicted to Citadel washes, because now we're going to go Agrax Earthshade onto all of the bony areas. There's a couple of little horns on one of his little trimmy decoration thing on his shoulder. There's a couple of skulls, that kind of crap. So we're just going to get all of that Agraxed nicely. Okay, hazard stripes, this is one of the processes I had to slow down a little bit for, and I'm getting a bit time sensitive by this point. I didn't bother putting a clock in this video because it's, you know, it's more just for a bit of fun than for a serious challenge, but I was sort of starting to eke towards maybe 50 minutes by this point, so I had to start thinking about when I was going to get those hazard stripes done. I decided to do them next so that I could be timely with them and see how much time I had left when they were done. So here's me just basing those in with some yellow, getting them looking nice and scratchy and chippy and, you know, looking all excellent. Okay, and then from there we're going to highlight all of those hazard stripes just with a bit of ice yellow from Vallejo. I'll be targeting mostly sort of the tops and around the chip areas and stuff like that with these highlights, just because I think that's what's going to look best. But it's not essential really, you can kind of just highlight this however you want. We just want to get a little bit of, you know, a bit of edging to it, a bit of definition. Okay, next up I'm going to slap a quick bit of slightly thinned down Caribou Crimson onto the face. I just wanted the face to look like a sort of demonic-y, possessed-y, chaos-y kind of deal. I don't really know what I was going for, I was rushing my arse off at this point. Okay, next I decided to do something kind of weird. I knew that I was going to be leaning quite a lot into contrasts and washes for this video, so I had a lot of my contrast paints and my washes out on my desk. I decided to grab a couple of contrast paints and use them to mix a rust mixture. Now I wouldn't normally do this, I'd normally just thin down some orange paint, and that would probably have been quicker as well, but it was an interesting opportunity just to experiment with using contrast to do rust effects and see what it looks like. In all truth, I'm not massively keen on it, but that's only because really it's a bit glossy and I think rust should look kind of powdery and dry. So what I did here was just mix red, brown and yellow contrast paints together and then just put a bee's dick of the ice yellow from Vallejo in there just to give it a little bit of opacity, and started to apply that as if it were rust. You're going to see me first of all do a single layer of it just sort of everywhere that I want these rust effects, and that's going to look really nice and cool. And then I'm going to come back in and actually lighten it up a little bit more. So I added a touch more yellow to it and just a touch more ice yellow to it as well. And just made it a bit brighter and went over those rust areas with just a quick second pass. Okay, now by this point I'm really running out of time. I'm down to like my last couple of minutes. I'm starting to panic. I've got to get basing done. I've got a few little bits of detail here and there that I've got to get filled in. And I realised that one of the things that's actually been costing me a lot of time is because I'm filming this, I'm constantly having to start and stop my my software that I do my filming through, and I'm having to fiddle around and check camera angles and stuff like that. So I decided to just fuck the last few bits of this in without any filming whatsoever and just bring you this shot to show you what it all looked like once I'd got it all done.
Oh yeah, it's over. Yeah, it's finished.
Good.
Are you done? You ready to go to bed?
Yeah, it's perfect timing, yeah, alright. Now obviously I accept that that's not good enough. If we're doing a painting video, we're doing a Lazy Susan. You love it, I love it, the Lazy Susan is an integral part of the channel. So let's get our Iron Warriors Contemptor down onto the Lazy Susan and have a look at how he looks. So folks, what do you think? Is it worth painting your miniatures this fast? Is it worth rushing through them like this deliberately, setting yourself these challenges? Or is the loss in quality that you get just not worth it? Is it just always better to take your time? I'm not sure that my mind is 100% made up on it. I really enjoyed this. It was a lot of fun, but I also really enjoy looking at beautifully painted miniatures that I'm really proud of. So I don't know which side of the fence I stand on, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think about it. Get at me in the comments, let me know what you think. Of course, if you liked this video, you can hit that thumbs up button to let me know that you liked it. If you wish to, you can also subscribe to the channel and enable notifications, and that's going to enable you to stay up to date when I release new content here on YouTube. If you want to support the channel and help me be able to keep making these videos, I do have a Patreon where you can pledge from as little as $1 a month to help me out with that. But with all of that said, I'm going to get out of here now, roll the end credits. So thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.